Late Night Health continues. I'm Mark Allen, along with the insane Daryl Wayne. We're going to go to the very bottom of the earth. I've been close. I've been to Cape Horn at the end of South Africa. But I have a feeling where our guest David McQuillan is calling from, Tasmania, is even further south. Am I right about that, David?
Well, we're probably about the same distance away from Antarctica, but we are very, very far away from where you are. Probably you couldn't get further away on Earth than where we are now.
It's like a gazillion and a half miles. Last couple of weeks, there was the tour of Sufferlandria, and it was a fundraising event for the Davis Phinney Foundation, which it was an international fundraiser, and the purpose of the fundraising was to, I guess, help promote research and information about Parkinson's.
Yeah, that's right. The Davis Phinney Foundation was started by a gentleman named Davis Phinney, who was a former professional cyclist and rode in the Tour de France and in the Olympics. And he had Parkinson's in his 40s and created a foundation to help people with Parkinson's lead better lives today. And their slogan is "Every victory counts," and that's who we ride for, the Davis Phinney Foundation.
How did you get involved?
Davis Phinney was one of my heroes when I was a kid, when I was racing in the 80s. Davis Phinney was who I wanted to be. He was a famous sprinter, and I just looked up to he and to his wife, Connie Carpenter, who was an Olympic gold medalist. And when I had heard about Davis's Parkinson's, and with my company, the Sufferfest, we were in a position to help raise money for them, I jumped at the chance, because here was an opportunity to work with one of my heroes and support something that he was experiencing and help people around the world. So I just had to do it.
And what is Sufferfest?
The Sufferfest is a company that makes online training videos for cyclists or anyone who is interested in using indoor cycling to get more fit.
And that's why you had a worldwide chain, if you will, of cycling centers featuring Sufferfest videos. To people would make a donation of $10 minimum, and they would learn about Sufferfest as well as helping the Davis Phinney Foundation.
That's right. With the Sufferfest, we have a global community of what we call Sufferlandrians. And Sufferlandrians around the world participate in our tour of Sufferlandria each year. This was the 5th year we did it. Thousands of folks in countries all over the world, as well as our 200 cycling studios and gyms that use Sufferfest videos. And all of them did Sufferfest videos for 9 days in a row. So that's riding your indoor bike for 9 days in a row for at least an hour a day. And it's not just steady riding. These are high-intensity interval sessions, the kind of sessions that professional cyclists do, and that demand a lot of mental strength and a lot of physical fortitude to get through. So it's a big challenge to do it for 9 days, and that's how we raise money. Everybody has to put in a $10 donation and then ask their friends and family to help raise some money. And in the end, we raised almost $140,000 for the Davis Phinney Foundation, which we are just blown away by.
That is magnificent. Congratulations. I guess we need to talk about exercise and health a little bit. You're a cyclist, and you prefer indoor cycling to outdoor cycling yourself?
Oh, well, I wouldn't say I prefer it, but I find that indoor cycling used to be incredibly boring. But today, it's very exciting. There's so many different kinds of bikes you can ride inside and so many different applications you can use to help guide you through a workout and keep you, as we say at the Sufferfest, entertained. What a lot of people do find is that indoors has a lot of benefits over outdoor riding that matter a lot.
And yeah, there are no cars or trucks to start with.
Exactly, especially for new cyclists. traffic can be really intimidating, especially if you live in a place that's got a lot of heavy traffic. And
well, we're here in Southern California. I would imagine there are only 6 cars in Tasmania, so that the traffic.
Horses and carriages, you mean, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, traffic can be intimidating, and so riding indoors takes that away, and you can get a good workout in without feeling worried. And the other thing that you can do indoors that can be more difficult outside is get a structured workout in. If you know you've only got 45 minutes and you want to do some high-intensity intervals, really the best place to do it is indoors. And that brings me to probably the last reason why indoor cycling is so beneficial, because it is more efficient. So it only takes about 45 minutes of riding indoors to equal 1 hour of riding outdoors, because, of course, indoors you can't coast.
Right. And so that's about a 20% higher workout than
that's right.
Outside.
We normally say it's about 25% more efficient. And this is what our coaches point out to Sufferlandrians, that it's about 25% more efficient than riding outside. So for your what we call a time-crunched person, you've got family, you've got work, you've got friends, all these things in your life that need some attention. You don't have a lot of time to spend to get out on the road, and you might make excuses why you're not going to go out and ride because it is time-consuming. But when it's indoors and you've got an indoor bike, then there's no excuses. The bike's there. You've got 45 minutes. Let's go.
Get on, jump on, and start pedaling. One of the things that I've done when I've worked out in gyms and done cycling is that you mentioned that it's boring. I guess the videos that you take are like of the Tour de France and other kinds of courses that are really intense. Is that what happens?
Yeah, that's right. I think one thing people don't talk enough about with exercise, especially if you're exercising in a gym, a treadmill or an exercise bike, is motivation. And
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to laugh.
It's a lot of coaches or trainers talk about, okay, just get on the treadmill and do 30 minutes, or get on the bike and do 45 minutes, as if that doesn't take any kind of motivation at all. And in fact, when you're bored, you're less likely to work out. You're less likely to work out hard. You're certainly less likely to be focused, because all you're thinking about is getting off the bike or getting off the treadmill. So we really work hard on the idea that you need to keep people, and I used this word a second ago, entertained. Of course, the pain is from working hard, but you've got to be entertained, because when you're entertained, you're more engaged, you're more motivated, you're in a place where you feel like you need to get this workout done. And the Sufferfest, what we try and do is we create videos that use footage from races like the Tour de France or the World Championships or the Tour of Italy, huge races with famous riders and people on the roadside and gorgeous scenery. And we put you in that, and we create a story where you've got a responsibility. You might be, in one workout, a Sufferlandrian who, for the good of the Sufferlandrian nation, you have to attack on this climb, and you need to get to the top and win the leader's jersey because the people of Sufferlandria depend on you. And as crazy as it sounds, it's just a story and it's just a video, but when you're watching it, you really feel like the country's depending on you.
And what I guess the other part of that is that you're not bored. And the fact is that if you jump on a treadmill and even run for, I don't know, an hour, I've heard that you only burn like 100 calories, less than a can of Coca-Cola, which you shouldn't be drinking anyway. But my point is, you do all that, you spend all that time, and you're really not burning. Is cycling, especially with Sufferlandria, Sufferfest, is that helping to burn more calories? You get a more intensive cardio workout?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, that calorie burn that you mentioned seems really low, and I suspect that comes from people who get on the treadmill and who are bored and so don't work hard. All they're doing is they're thinking about getting off. They can't motivate themselves to really put in a few big efforts. Now, Sufferfest videos are high-intensity interval sessions. These are the kind of workouts that get results. They're hard work. You have to push yourself hard, but you'll be proud of yourself after the workout, and you'll get results, and you're going to burn a lot of calories.
Can you adjust? But can you adjust it, David? In other words, I would be a beginner.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'd be a baby. I wouldn't even. I'd be below beginner. And
we can make you a champion.
Okay, I need that. I do, but can you adjust it for your own skill level?
Yes, absolutely. It's one of the beauties of how we approach exercise at the Sufferfest. Our videos are used by Olympic and world champions as well as first-timers like yourself who are just getting started, because exercise, it's all relative. We use something called perceived exertion. So on a scale of 1 to 10, let's say 1 lying on the couch, watching television, and 10, the flat-out sprint as hard as you can go for 10 seconds, we tell people to work on this scale. So in a workout, we might say, okay, I want you to be at a 7 out of 10 for 1 minute. Now, for you, that might mean that let's just say your power output isn't going to be that high, but at 7 out of 10, you're working really hard. You can feel it. For an Olympic champion, a 7 out of 10 is going to be a massive power output, right?
Right.
Huge world-class power output, but they're going to feel like they're working just as hard as you. And in that way, anyone, no matter how fit they are, can do a Sufferfest workout because it's based on your perceived exertion.
And any average calorie burn that you can think of?
Oh, it all depends on the session and the length of the session and the kind of workout. In the Tour of Sufferlandria, we had people in some of our 2-hour workouts talking about calorie burn that was up around 1,800 calories.
Oh, my gosh. I've got to do it. I've got to do it. All right.
Yeah.
Getting excited and interested in exercise, that's what Sufferfest is all about. And raising $140,000 for the Davis Phinney Foundation is what our guest, David McQuillan, has just done. He's the CEO of Sufferfest and is a big fan of Davis Phinney himself. We're going to be taking time out in just a couple of moments. Quickly, are there Sufferfest cycling centers throughout the United States, and people can get us, of course, on the internet throughout the world?
Yes, we have licensed what we call Sufferlandrian embassies in 14 countries around the world, including the U.S. And if there isn't a Sufferlandrian embassy where you can go and ride Sufferfest videos with other people, you can download our app at thesufferfest.com, which you can use on your iPad or your computer. We have running and cycling videos available.
Got it. Well, I can always watch those.
Yeah, that's not allowed.
That's not allowed. All right. From Tasmania, we have on our phone line David McQuillan, and we will be back with David in just a couple of moments. Don't go away. Late Night Health continues as we wrap up this edition of the show.
The experts at Web.com want to build your business a successful website for free, just like we did for these current Web.com customers.
We've looked at other website designers. There's nobody better than Web.com.
Web.com can build your website in as little as 7 days free. Plus, we'll promote it on all the major search engines. If after 30 days you're happy, we'll continue to provide promotion, hosting, support, and maintenance, all for one low monthly fee. If not, cancel and pay nothing.
If you're in business and you don't have a web presence, you won't be taken seriously.
Call right now and you'll also get a free .com or .net domain name for your new website powered by VeriSign, the world's leading domain name provider.
No upfront charge for site build, after which ongoing fees apply. Rights to site are relinquished when canceled. Domain included during active service, after which fees apply.
800-489-8751. 800-489-8751. 800-489-8751. That's 800-489-8751. Attention users of the blood-thinning drug Xarelto. If you took the drug Xarelto and experienced complications such as cerebral hemorrhage, gastrointestinal bleeding or other internal bleeding, or if a loved one has died after taking Xarelto, you may be eligible to get a cash award for your suffering. Call the Xarelto Help Hotline now at 1-800-264-3150. That's 800-264-3150. To qualify for a cash settlement, you must file a claim before the deadline, so don't miss your opportunity for a cash settlement. Call 800-264-3150 now for a free, no-obligation consultation. Our call center is open 24/7. So if you took the drug Xarelto and experienced cerebral hemorrhage, gastrointestinal bleeding, or other internal bleeding, or if a loved one has died after taking Xarelto, call the Xarelto Help Hotline now at 800-264-3150. 800-264-3150. That's 800-264-3150.